What's up, folks, and welcome back to our mini unit on avoiding plagiarism. Once again, I want to mention that this slideshow is based on the work by Jennifer Gonzalez, and you can find all of this here at Teachers Pay Teachers. The skill we'll be focusing on today is summarizing. Basically, there are 3 ways to avoid plagiarism in your own writing. The first is summarizing, putting general information you learn from your sources in your own words, and giving the author credit. The second is paraphrasing, restating more specific points in a way that's closer to how the author wrote it, and giving the author credit. The third is direct quotes, copying some of the author's exact words, but putting them in quotes and giving the author credit. Let's practice the first one, putting things in your own words, also known as summarizing. Remember when Joe was writing about fly traps and soil, how at first he just copied the passage? Let's look at that again. Here he says, this plant happens to grow in dirt that is too low in nitrogen to meet its needs. To make up for that lack of nitrogen, it gets it by eating insects. And we can see meeting their needs instead of its needs, and they get it instead of it gets it. And they changed, Joe changed from consuming to eating. The problem is that Joe looked at the article while he was writing. It helps if you don't do that. Instead, he should read a section of the article first, then get the article completely out of sight. Next, without looking at the article, he should think about the passage he just read. The plant eats bugs because it needs something that the dirt doesn't have. Was it nitrates? Oxygen? And he should explain it to someone else. Okay, so Venus flytraps eat bugs, right? And they do this because they need something. I think it's oxygen. And the dirt they grow in doesn't have enough oxygen, and I guess bugs do, so they eat them. Fascinating. Then he should write his explanation on his own paper. The words should sound like Joe, not like the article. Venus flytraps eat bugs because they need oxygen, and the dirt they grow in doesn't have enough of it. Eating the bugs helps them get the extra oxygen they need. And only after this is done, Joe can check back to the original article to make sure he got the information right. This is when he'll realize that it's nitrogen, not oxygen, that the flytraps need, so he can fix that. When you are researching, follow these steps. Step 1, first read the passage carefully. Don't take any notes, just read. Step 2, look away from the text. Turn the paper over or minimize your computer screen. Think about what it says, then talk through it, out loud, in your own words. Step 3, still looking away, draft your own note. It should sound like you. Step 4, go back to the text and check to make sure you got the facts right. So we've got read, then think and talk. And if you don't have anybody to talk to yourself. It's okay. Then draft. Write the article, or write what you think the article was saying. Then check to make sure that what you thought was accurate to what was actually there. Even though you have now summarized this idea, you still need to give credit to the source where you learned it. Let's see how Joe does it. He starts with the paragraph he just wrote. Venus flytraps eat bugs because they need nitrogen, and the dirt they grow in doesn't have enough of it. Eating the bugs helps them get the extra nitrogen they need. You'll notice that Joe said nothing about the author or where this information came from. Then he adds a few extra words to tell us where that stuff came from. So he says, in The Hungry Venus Flytrap, Samantha Buglover explains that Venus flytraps eat bugs, etc., etc. Here's another way Joe could do it. Venus flytraps eat bugs because they need nitrogen, and the dirt they grow in doesn't have enough of it, according to Samantha Buglover in The Hungry Venus Flytrap. Eating the bugs helps them get the extra nitrogen they need. To recap, plagiarism is borrowing someone else's words, ideas, or creation without giving them credit for it. There are 3 ways that you can avoid plagiarizing: by summarizing, putting general information you learn from your sources in your own words and giving credit to the author; paraphrasing, by restating more specific points in a way that's closer to how the author wrote it and giving the author credit; or direct quotes, copying some of the author's exact words but putting them in quotes and giving the author credit. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.